What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today is actually kind of a sad day. So I pulled my car in to try and work on getting the transmission out because, as you guys know, I blew my transmission at DOD, and Chris is actually sending me one for helping him with the loft and all that kind of stuff. But went to go pull it in, and the car was smoking kind of bad. And I didn't really smell coolant or anything like that. But let me find my flashlight real quick. If you look in here, I'm gonna try to set this up. Oh boy. If you can see inside that valve cover there, it doesn't look good. And I have a strong feeling that when we had them like single digit freezing days here in the wintertime, I might have forgot to put coolant in it. I think it still had some water and then started it. I think I might have blew my head gasket. Unfortunately, head's gotta come off. I gotta take the timing chain off. It's a lot to do the head gaskets on these cars. My buddy Charlie said he will help me do it, but it might not be smart to try and rush to get them done because you gotta send the heads out to get them decked. To do it properly, you need to take the heads off, get them decked, all that kind of stuff. And that's what I wanna do, especially with this motor, with the supercharger and all that. I wanna do it properly. So I'm gonna order the right stuff and do all that. We just won't have time. Parts won't be here in time in order to do all that. So that being said, my Mustang will not be at the World Tour. I won't be driving it with Chris. So sadly, this won't be here. But fortunately, I have friends that really, really like me. And basically, Braxton's going to let me use his RX-7. So definitely go follow his channel. I'll put the link right here. He's been working his ass off on this car. You just did what? FDF?
FDF, Mega Mantis, welded the LSD, did a couple of, minor changes. We had to fix the reverse in the car. The detent was, I don't know,
like wore out or something.
Yeah. First time doing them. I mean, every other detent was fine, but after driving it on the street a few times, I went to the back of my driveway and it wouldn't go in reverse. So.
Yeah, and we had to push you every time we were at the track.
And then with welding a diff and then having to be pushed and turning was going to be a bigger struggle. So pulled the motor and...
Yeah, you and Sean did that in like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Not even,
Pulled the motor, fixed the detent, put it back in. And so far, the reverse has been working. It's
just weird. A little weird,
it's very
right?
Tight, very notchy, but it's working. And we drove it at Bud's some time ago, a few weeks, a month ago, and the car was amazing. I mean, it did great. And unfortunately, seeing what happened to his Mustang.
Yeah, it does suck because we actually just fixed a fuel leak. So I had the car parked inside last night, and you can't see it now because it dried. But right here, I came into the shop this morning and I smelled fuel, and I looked under the car and there was a fuel leak. So I ended up finding, or we, not me, we ended up finding the fuel leak. We replaced the line. We put new fittings on it, did all that, started it, and it wasn't smoking at first, and then it started smoking, and then Walzer goes, smells like coolant. And I was like, fuck. So we popped the hood, pulled the valve, well, didn't pull the valve cover, pulled the oil cap off, and I looked inside, and it doesn't look good. And a little milky. It's not milky to the point where it's on the dipstick yet, so I feel like the head gasket isn't, well, if it's going bad, it's bad. But I think it is just starting to go bad. So instead of me risking it for the biscuit, I'd rather just, this is my only main drift car. So I want to take care of it. Plus, if you guys have followed along with me, I've had to replace this engine. We didn't open this up. Like when I blew my original engine from this car, we didn't open this supercharged engine up. We just put it in there. So finally going through it, I think Charlie said we should do timing chains, the new tensioner, the guides, do everything, especially since this thing is going to be seeing some high revs and all that stuff. We might as well do it right. So that's what we're going to end up doing. So unfortunately, old girl will not be there. So luckily, like I said, Braxton, again, thank you. He's going to let me use the RX-7. I do have a couple things that I need to do to it, like change the oil. There is a block-off plate that I need to replace on there. And then I'm going to probably just bring my wheels and stuff instead of burning up his tires and all that. But I just sat in it. It's a little tight. My hips are a little wide. His seat, I'm not going to move. I'll just say that. I'm not going to move.
I'm skinny.
Yeah.
So I'm in there firm and tight.
Yeah.
Anybody slightly wider or bigger, it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to sacrifice your jewels to, you know.
That's for sure. That's for sure. But I was wearing my boots and I sat in there and I was like, damn, my legs are sitting real high, but I'll just wear Vans and it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do now is go unload his car, move my car out the way, and then get his oil changed and get everything done that needs to be done before Thursday, instead of trying to stress and basically on a time crunch trying to get this car done. I'd rather take my time and make sure it's done right. So I'm going to work on that and see what we can get done. Well, boys, change of plans. So I called Chris, told him I had an issue with my car, and then I told him that I had a solution and that everything was fine, but everything's not fine. Basically, I found out that in order for me to drive there with him to tandem to practice, car needs to be caged. Rightfully so. I just know other tracks have allowed, if it's a private day, that's okay, is what it is. But at E-Town, you can't tandem without a cage. So, that being said, we are going to try and see if we can get my car fixed before Thursday. We do have a backup plan. At the end of the day, I could always just take the Genesis. It's just very slow, but it still gets him practice. So basically what I have is the combustion leak detector. So this thing, basically you put this on the reservoir from what I understand. You put the fluid in it, and if it changes colors, that automatically tells you head gasket is either going bad or is bad, anything of that nature. And I got Dave on his way to come over to help me with this. I've never personally done one of these. He's going to show me how to use this. So I actually have another vehicle I need to use this on anyway. So I went ahead and bought this. We're going to figure it out, whether it's the head gasket or whether it's something else. Because if it's not the head gasket, we got to figure out what it is. And if I can get it fixed before the World Tour, well, before a couple of days before the World Tour, then I want to take my car, obviously. Worst case scenario, car isn't fixed by then, and I just take the Jenny. So we'll see what happens. Dave will be here very shortly, and we're going to get this thing tested. So I do want to show you guys. I know it's probably going to be hard to see on camera, but if you look, it don't look like the oil's bad, but in person, it seems kind of milky in my eye. Like, it looks like it's just starting. Now, I could show you one, because I have another vehicle over here real quick, show you one that looks like it actually is bad, which is what I was saying I'm going to need this tester for anyways. So let me go over here real quick and show you on this car what a milky oil is what I'm talking about. Now, this truck that I'll be doing some stuff with later, that looks pretty milky. It also looks a little rusty, but you can see it's got more of like a chocolate milk look. Now, there's some that are even worse and whatever, but you know, this truck also smokes super bad. And I got some plans with this truck later on down the road. I want to get some things done and out of the way before I started a whole nother project again. So Dave's on his way here now. We're about to see if we can test the car, do a compression test, do the leak test, do all that kind of stuff, and see if it is the head gasket or what else it is. See if it's fixable before the World Tour. If it's not, I'm basically just going to be setting this to the side, collecting parts, and then fixing this in a timely manner. You know what I mean? I don't want to do this half-ass and take the chance of completely ruining this car. So I don't want to do that. I'll end up probably just throwing my wheels on the Jenny and just taking that. I am looking for a headlight for it currently. A buddy of mine is at a junkyard right now. He said he'll look around and see if he could find a headlight for it, which would be cool because it's got a busted headlight. There's no passenger headlight at all. And even though it's not going to be showcased, I'm sure he's going to want to park it at the booth at some point. So we'll see. But either way, we're going to figure this out. And it's either going to be my car or the Jenny because I don't really have any other options. Walzer's car, I would have taken that, but it needs some work and he's just not comfortable with it going away without him driving it first and whatnot. So we're not going to be taking Walzer's car. And yeah, so we're going to get this figured out. It just sucks that, you know, I want to, you know, it sucks, but at the same time, I'm glad we figured it out and seeing that there's an issue before I'm out driving this thing and then it just pops again because this engine goes, I'm pretty much screwed for a while and probably won't drive. I'll probably just end up working on things, which isn't the end of the world, but you know, I'd like to drive this year a decent amount, so we'll see. But all right, well, let's wait till Dave gets here and see what we can figure out. So let's see how this shit goes, dude. So basically that just turns yellow if it's bad, right?
Yep, it'll turn yellow.
If it's got like oil contaminants or something in the coolant.
If it detects combustion gas.
Which is oil or fuel.
Yep. The fuel
Okay, so anything from that, because that should all be separate from the head gaskets and stuff.
Yep, that should be separate from the coolant system.
Gotcha.
So like to test this fluid, we can put it in front of it, behind the exhaust, and suck the exhaust into it, and it'll change.
Oh, you could do it that way too.
Yep. To
No
make
shit.
sure that fluid's still good.
Huh.
Then you pull it away and suck fresh air through, and it will turn back to blue.
No shit.
So this fluid is reusable. As long as you don't get coolant mixed in with it.
Gotcha. So we'll do that, and then basically just hook this to a vacuum for this specific tool. Other ones have the little pump, right?
Yep.
That's the one you have?
Yeah, the one I have, it has a little ball that you just squeeze.
Right, and I saw a couple people use those, and that's the one I was going to buy from Harbor Freight, but this one, you know, Wes had this one, so just start it and see what it does now, huh?
Yep.
Now it takes a couple minutes, right? It's not instantly. Okay, so I'm going to start it and let it idle, and we'll see what we got. And now you'll probably hear it. It doesn't sound great. I totally feel any vacuum coming from it. Pull the vacuum from there. Really? Oh, is the tip not need to be cut?
No, it's cut.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's almost as soon. Oh, there goes a bubble. So it just wasn't tight enough. I mean, it's got shit spraying out of it. I don't know if that's coolant or just condensation. Now there's no EVAP and there's no cats on this. So like if you look, you can see there's like condensation coming out the exhaust pretty high. See?
Condensation out the exhaust is kind of normal.
Right, I knew
It's
that.
cold, and then you pump the heat through it.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of moisture in there.
All right, well, we'll check back on this in a second, see if this thing changes colors. Sorry for the noise, but as you can see, the color ain't changed yet. It's still blue, which it's checking out. So we're gonna move on to the next thing to see if we can figure out what the hell's going on with this thing. All right, guys, so I'm actually about to run to the store real quick because we were looking at the plugs here, and it looks like the little hook part is a little wore out. Basically, the plugs don't look that great. So I'm gonna buy a new set of plugs, throw it in there, and see if it's running a little better, because it actually isn't breaking up or anything. I'm gonna go get some more gas, new spark plugs, put them in there, and see how it runs, because the coolant contamination test checked out. It didn't change any colors or anything, which is good. So, and the only thing we can think of is maybe it's just running a little rich or maybe running a little lean. So I'm gonna do some plugs and see if it's running better. So I'm gonna run to the parts store real quick and then I'll be right back. Shine your light real quick.
See it? Is that the light?
I don't know, dude. That looks more.
It's condensation. It'd be like chocolate milk. Or, I smell fuel.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what that is.
It looks like chocolate.
Yeah, so it's not coolant.
Your spark, that's what's happening. You're flooding
Spark
the
plugs
cylinders.
are all, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, it's probably blowing your spark out.
Yeah.
It looks like chocolate.
All right, guys, so we got the plugs changed and the oil changed and got it all back together. But now before I want to start it up, I want to go ahead and drain this coolant since I'm going to be back on the track and it's getting warmer out. You don't want to run coolant on in your car on the track because terrible mess. So what I'm going to do is drain the coolant now out of this and the heat exchanger and get this distilled water put up in it with some water wetter. So let's get to that. All right, guys, so all the coolant is drained. We got distilled water in it now. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up. Actually, before I do that and actually, hurt myself or hurt my lungs, I'm going to open the door. Hello, sunshine. We'll let this thing start up and purr. See how it sounds. Oh, I'm just slowly but surely ripping my pants further and further. I'm about to throw these things away. All right. Definitely low on gas. Should probably put some in it. Well, it's already running a lot better. So I am talking to a few people about getting a tune. So what I have to do is try to find a laptop because all I have is a MacBook and a lot of people like Windows laptops for that. So I need to borrow somebody's laptop or see if I can take this to somebody. It's not going to happen before Thursday. The car ran perfectly fine for a while the way it is. So I put new plugs in it. It should be fine for one day. And if it acts up at all, I'll just tell Chris, sorry, man, not going to blow my car up. So either way, I think we're good. We're just going to get some tires and dress this thing up a little bit, clean it up a little bit, and get it ready. All right, guys, well, I went ahead and quick jumped to getting the drive shaft and the exhaust off. The exhaust was already out, but like you saw in the time lapse, I got the drive shaft and all that stuff out. So I got to get this trans out. So I'm going to get it to the point of basically it about ready to just come out. I have to wait till the clutch gets here and a helping hand to actually get this thing off. I still need to invest in an actual tall trans jack so I can start doing this stuff myself. But either way, I'm going to get some of these bolts out and then get this trans out. But we'll most likely pick up on this tomorrow when I get the clutch and we're putting the trans back in. So let's just jump into the future to tomorrow. All right, boys. So we got the new McLeod clutch right here. Shout out to Chris for ordering this for me. I got all the bolts out of the trans. I just got to get a hand to help wiggle it off the engine. I think it's kind of stuck on the dowel pin. So I left this bolt in there just for safety reasons so it doesn't go flying. Because like I said, I still don't have the tall trans jack, but either way. So we're just going to break this loose, get this out so I can get the clutch off and then put the new one on. All right, well, we got the trans out. I got the clutch out. And needless to say, this thing was donezo. It's literally separating from the rivets, which is insane. So got that out. This is going to go straight to the trash. And then you can see all the burn marks. It's bad. So this is actually, come to find out, it's a Ford clutch. So this is probably the original clutch that came on the car that I got the motor out of. So yeah, it's I'd say it was done. So that's gonna go in the trash. This is gonna go in the trash, and we're gonna get this brand new McLeod clutch. Not sponsored or nothing, but Chris hooked us up with this. So I'm gonna get this bad girl up in there after I get the flywheel cleaned up, because it's definitely seen some shit. So I wanna get it in there, clean all that up, and get that good so it actually bites the new clutch. So I'm gonna work on that. All right, boys, so I went ahead and got the clutch in. I think I'm gonna try to get the trans in by myself just because I really don't wanna waste any time waiting, but got the flywheel all cleaned up. That's all good. I even cleaned the dowels and all that kind of stuff. That's all good. So I think I'm gonna try to get this trans in just because, like I said, I just really don't wanna waste any time. I have a lot of stuff I need to do before tomorrow, so I need to get to work. So what I think I'm gonna do is just get this trans in there and then start buttoning other things up. I do need to try to get some clearance out of this right here. If you could see, yeah, right there. My drive shaft is actually hitting right there. So I think what I'm gonna do is take the flapper disc and just kind of shave that down a little bit, because there's multiple layers of metal, so I think it'll be fine. So I think I'm gonna take the flapper disc and just clean that up some, just so the drive shaft has a little bit more room. I'm not gonna cut it out completely, but if I could shave it down and make some room, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna work on that too. All right, guys, so I kind of half-ass fixed the quarter panel, and then I just touched this one up, as you guys saw. Not a big deal. The car's not perfect. It needs a real good refresh, but either way, my back bumper was completely destroyed at DOD, and then I got this bumper. It's actually a California special. It's got the louvers in the back, but I need to sand this down and spray paint it black, and then I'll do the little flakes all over it, whatever, but I got to get this racing stripe off of here first. So I'm going to work on getting that off, and then sand this down, spray paint it black, throw metal flake on it, put it on the car.
Oh, hello, people.
Hi.
Hi.
What you got there?
RC car. We can't drift for real life right now, so we're drifting in shop life right now.
Isaac, you suck, dude.
I'm terrible at this.
Go back to college. That wasn't too bad. Wham!
Get that shit.
All right, guys. Well, pretty much, I ran out of black spray paint. We got primer on it. That's all good. But I ran out of literally all the black paint I have is either old and it doesn't work, or I ran out. So what I'm probably going to do is, on the way to Englishtown, I'm just going to stop, grab a can, paint it on the car. I'll probably just mount it and just paint it on the car, and then let it dry on the way up. And then, like I said, I'll just throw metal flake at it. But huge shout out to Charlie. He came over, helped me with the car. Wes came over, he helped a lot. And now we're just kind of just cleaning up and stuff. And I'm about to go home and just kind of chill out, hang out with the family for a little while before, you know, I'm gone for a few days. But either way, we will pick back up on this probably in the parking lot of some random parts store. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, so as you can see, the bumper did not get finished, but we just went to Advance. I would say shout out to Wes, but he just didn't do his job and didn't look for paint. I got all 3 cans and a thing of zip ties for 20 bucks. These were like $2 or $3 a piece. The most expensive thing was the 100 pack of zip ties. So I'm gonna spray this in the parking lot real quick and let it dry on the way up the road. I mean, not bad for a parking lot spray paint job. What I'll do is I'll let that dry, and then when I get to E-Town, I'll spray it again, because why not? And then I'll do my my glitter bomb or metal flake, whatever you want to call it. So, but let's get on the road. All right, boys. Well, as you can see, we made it to Englishtown. I just got done talking to Chris and Ab about this weekend and how wild it's probably going to be. So Rudnick's about to be here. I think we're actually going to be running the kart track like we did last time when we were here with Agent and Jay and everybody. So either way, it's good testing for the cars. It's probably better in a way because it's wide open and it is what it is. So we're just going to test it out a little bit and see what's up. So I'm going to drive over there, meet up with Rudnick, and get the car unloaded. I don't know how much filming I'm gonna do of driving. Maybe I'll have Matt film a couple clips or something, but I mean, you guys have seen drifting. I'd like to just know how the car's feeling, basically. But other than that, we're just gonna run a few laps. And actually, look at this fucking guy pulling up in here. See if he wants to do a little drag race down the pit lane. Oh, hey, dude! It's gonna be a fun weekend. I need this weekend. I got some family things going on and I needed to get away, so I need this weekend. I'll fill you guys in when I get home and stuff. So, but let's get unloaded and let's run some laps.
Already issue number one. Sounds like power steering.
Turn it off.
Oh boy. Problem number one already.
It sounds like you have no power steering.
The steering is fine, dude. I was at full lock and it was like.
Power steering's over.
Perfect. I love to look at that. I love that.
I thought you got a new one of those.
It's all new. Everything's new.
Alright boys, well as you can see my car did really good. I didn't want to bug you with a whole bunch of drifting clips and stuff because we only rode kart track. I don't know if I'm going to be able to run any of the jam session or anything like that. We'll see. I do think I either need a Hans device or a Halo seat, so we'll see. I know Chris said he might talk to Adam and whatnot and maybe get me to run some jam session laps, but we'll, like I said, we'll see. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for the little bit of a late post, but as you can tell, we've been pretty busy. So, but either way, if you could like, comment, subscribe, that'd be sick. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.